Today we're going over every level of NFL draft steal, starting with some of the league's underrated gems, all the way to a steal so great, they may even be known as the greatest player of all time. So let's start with level 1.
Level 1. Underrated gems.
For the video, we'll be going over players taken from the 3rd round and on in order to be considered a steal. Each level after this will be better and better draft steals until we reach the greatest ones of all time. First up is Marques Colston. Colston arrived in New Orleans as a 7th round draft pick in 2006. The realistic expectation was that his time would be measured in weeks, not years. Instead, he became the Saints' all-time leader in receiving yards with over 9,700. He had 72 touchdowns and 711 receptions over 10 seasons. He had 6 1,000-yard seasons and helped the Saints win the Super Bowl against the Colts. Despite this incredible production, Colston never made a single Pro Bowl, making him one of the most underrated players in NFL history. But if you thought he was underrated, so is this next player. Ahmad Bradshaw was selected 250th overall in the 2007 NFL Draft by the New York Giants. At that point, most 7th rounders are just hoping to make the practice squad. But Bradshaw became really important to 2 Giants Super Bowl victories. In his rookie season, he exploded for an 88-yard touchdown run against Buffalo, one of the longest in Giants history. He finished that game with 151 rushing yards, announcing his arrival. Over his career, Bradshaw rushed for over 4,900 yards while adding 36 touchdowns. He was a leading rusher in both Super Bowl victories over the Patriots, making him only one of 8 running backs in NFL history to lead rushing in 2 Super Bowls. For a pick that late, becoming a 2-time Super Bowl champ and a franchise cornerstone is definitely a steal. We also have Josh Norman here. Josh Norman was drafted 143rd overall in the 5th round of the 2012 NFL Draft by the Carolina Panthers. Norman had a slow start, getting benched for most of 2013 after some struggles, but he worked his way back and became a shutdown corner by 2014, limiting elite receivers like Julio Jones and Mike Evans. Then he became legendary in 2015. Norman recorded 4 interceptions, 18 pass deflections, and 3 forced fumbles while helping the Panthers reach Super Bowl 50 with a 15-1 record. He was named first-team All-Pro and ranked 11th amongst all NFL players by his peers. His lockdown coverage and memorable battles with receivers like OBJ made him one of the league's most feared corners. For a 5th-round pick from a small school, becoming an All-Pro is absolutely insane. But he wasn't the only 5th-round pick who's made some waves. We also have Talanoa Hufanga. Hufanga was drafted 180th overall in the 5th round of the 2021 NFL Draft by the San Francisco 49ers. After a quiet rookie season with just 32 tackles, Hufanga exploded in 2022. He recorded 97 tackles, 4 interceptions, including 1 for a touchdown, 2 sacks, and 9 pass deflections. His dominant play earned him first-team All-Pro honors and a Pro Bowl selection, becoming one of the premier safeties in the NFL. Now with Denver in 2025 and being back healthy, he's continued elite play with 70 tackles and 2 sacks through 10 games, being a staple in the best defense in the league once again. Lastly, we have someone who never quite reached those heights, but was still really solid in Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett was drafted in the 5th round of the 2015 NFL Draft by the Atlanta Falcons. What Jarrett has accomplished since is remarkable. Over his 10-year career, he's recorded 36.5 sacks, made 2 Pro Bowls, and earned 2nd-team All-Pro honors in 2019. He became the anchor of Atlanta's defensive line, consistently generating pressure from the interior. Jarrett's 2019 season was particularly dominant with 7.5 sacks and 69 total tackles. His combination of quickness and power made him one of the league's most disruptive interior pass rushers. These guys were super underrated. Next up are still some hidden gems, but they're just a little bit better and just a little bit more well-known.
Level 2. Slightly better.
To start, we have Kirk Cousins. Now he gets more flack games and poor playoff games and robbing teams blind of hundreds of millions of dollars. Career fizzled, Cousins became a franchise quarterback. Over 14 seasons, he's thrown for over 43,000 yards, 288 touchdowns, and made 4 Pro Bowls. He's had a 67% completion percentage and led multiple teams to playoff appearances. For a 4th-round pick to become a multi-time Pro Bowler and earn over $200 million in career earnings, he's a legit steal. Same goes with Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was selected with the 102nd overall pick in the 5th round of the legendary 2017 NFL running back draft. Over his 9-year career, he's rushed for over 7,200 yards and 51 touchdowns while adding over 2,500 receiving yards and 21 receiving touchdowns. He made the Pro Bowl in 2020 and has consistently been one of the most productive dual threat backs in the league. Next up is Donald Driver. Donald Driver was drafted 213th overall in the 7th round of the 1999 NFL Draft by the Green Bay Packers from a tiny school named Alcorn State. He stood at 6 foot, 194 pounds, and ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. But he had dropped passes in college and was considered a long shot to even make the roster as the 6th receiver. But his unrelenting work ethic caught coaches' attentions immediately. Driver became the all-time Packers leader in receptions and receiving yards with 61 touchdowns over 14 seasons. He made 4 Pro Bowls, won a Super Bowl, and had 7 1,000-yard seasons, the only player in franchise history to accomplish that feat. He became a franchise legend and a Super Bowl champion before he retired. Another franchise legend is Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell was drafted 118th overall in the 5th round of the 1993 NFL Draft by the Green Bay Packers. A backup quarterback from Washington who was traded to Jacksonville before their inaugural season. Brunell became the face of the expansion Jags franchise. Over his 17-year career, he threw for over 32,000 yards and 184 touchdowns with a 78-73 record as a starter. He made 3 Pro Bowls and was a 1997 Pro Bowl MVP. He led the Jags to 4 playoff appearances, 2 AFC championship games, and 2 division titles. His signature moment was the 1996 playoff upset over Denver, throwing for over 245 yards in the biggest postseason upset in NFL history at that time. We also got to mention Julius Thomas here. Julius Thomas was drafted in the 4th round of the 2011 NFL Draft by the Denver Broncos, a tight end from Portland State who had actually played some college basketball. Thomas became a red zone monster for Peyton Manning's record-breaking offense. In his breakout 2013 season, he caught 65 passes for 788 yards and 12 touchdowns, earning his first Pro Bowl selection. He followed that up in 2014 with another 12-touchdown season and 2nd Pro Bowl appearance. He was instrumental in Denver's Super Bowl victory with Peyton Manning and helped establish the modern pass-catching tight end role. And to round out this group, we have Jordan Mailata. Mailata was drafted 233rd overall in the 7th round of the 2018 NFL Draft by the Philadelphia Eagles, an Australian rugby player who had never played a down of American football. At 6'8" and 365 pounds, Mailata came from the NFL's International Player Pathway Program. The first down he ever played was in the NFL. What he's accomplished since is crazy. Mailata has become one of the league's elite left tackles, earning 2nd team All-Pro honors in 2024 and signing a 3-year $66 million extension. It's protecting the blind side for a Super Bowl winning Eagles team. His combination of size, athleticism, and rugby background makes him nearly impossible to get around. All these guys were pretty good. Next up, I think we start getting to the elite tier.
Level 3, Elite Steals.
To start, we have Geno Atkins. Geno Atkins was drafted 120th overall in the 4th round of the 2010 NFL Draft by the Cincinnati Bengals. In 11 seasons, he recorded 75.5 sacks, made 8 Pro Bowls, and earned 2 first-team All-Pro honors. He was named the NFL's All-Decade Team for the 2010s and led all defensive tackles and sacks during that decade. At just 6'1" and 300 pounds, Atkins was considered undersized, but his combination of quickness, power, and technique made him unstoppable. Mike Zimmer called him like a pioneer for proving undersized defensive tackles could dominate, paving the way for players like Aaron Donald. Someone else who's paved the way for a new crew of backs is Jamal Charles. Charles was drafted 73rd overall in the 3rd round of the 2008 NFL Draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. In just 11 seasons, he rushed for over 7,500 yards and 44 touchdowns while adding over 2,500 receiving yards and 20 receiving touchdowns, all in the late 2000s and early 2010s. He made 4 Pro Bowls, earned 2 first-team All-Pro selections, and holds the NFL record for highest career yards per carry at 5.4. Charles was named to the NFL's All-Decade Team for the 2010s. Someone who followed in Charles' footsteps is Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara was drafted 67th overall in the 3rd round of the 2017 NFL Draft by the New Orleans Saints. He's rushed for over 7,200 yards and 61 touchdowns while adding over 49 receiving yards and 25 receiving touchdowns. He's made 5 Pro Bowls, earned 2 2nd-team All-Pro selections, and won 2017 NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. In that rookie season, he had over 1,500 scrimmage yards and 13 total touchdowns. His 2020 season was spectacular as well, with over 1,600 scrimmage yards and 21 total touchdowns. We have another Saints legend here in Jimmy Graham. He was selected with the 95th overall pick in the 3rd round of the 2010 NFL Draft by the New Orleans Saints, a tight end from Miami who had only just 17 career receptions in college and played basketball for most of his career. He went on to have 13 seasons in the NFL, recording over 719 receptions for 8,500 yards and 89 total touchdowns. He made 5 Pro Bowls, earned first-team All-Pro honors once, and revolutionized the tight end position. Grant became the prototype for the modern pass-catching tight end, using his background in basketball to create mismatches. This other mismatch legend is Amon-Ra St. Brown. His elite route running makes him one of the best receivers in the NFL today. Amon-Ra St. Brown was drafted 112th overall in the 4th round of the 2021 NFL Draft by the Detroit Lions. Over his 5-year career, he's recorded 494 receptions for over 5,500 yards and 41 touchdowns. He's made 3 straight Pro Bowls and earned 2 first-team All-Pro selections in 2023 and in 2024. And in 2024, he joined elite company with 115 receptions and 12 touchdowns, becoming just the 3rd player in NFL history to produce 115-plus catches and 10 touchdowns in consecutive seasons. St. Brown has become Detroit's franchise receiver and a cornerstone of their resurgence. Dak Prescott gets a lot of bad press, but he's been a cornerstone for Dallas for a while now as well. Prescott was selected with the 135th overall pick in the 4th round of the 2016 NFL Draft. He's thrown for over 33,000 yards and 230 touchdowns with a 79-51-1 record as a starter. He's made 3 Pro Bowls, earned second-team All-Pro honors in 2023, and won 2016 Offensive Rookie of the Year. Prescott has thrown for at least 3 touchdowns with no interceptions in 4 straight games in 2025 earlier this season, joining elite company with Drew Brees and Tom Brady. He's had a great career so far. And someone else who's had a great career so far is Brock Purdy. As we all know, Purdy was selected with the last pick in the NFL Draft, earning the nickname Mr. Irrelevant. In just 4 years, he's thrown for over 10,000 yards and 68 touchdowns with a 24-14 record as a starter. He's made 1 Pro Bowl, finished 4th in MVP voting in 2023, and holds multiple NFL records. His 2023 season was legendary, with over 4,200 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, and a 113 passer rating. That set the 49ers franchise record. Purdy holds the NFL record for highest passer rating through a player's first 25 starts, and most games with a 140-plus passer rating in their first 2 seasons. He led San Francisco to an NFC Championship game and then also to a Super Bowl in the following year. From Mr. Irrelevant to being an MVP candidate and now to getting a contract worth $265 million, he's definitely had a great career so far. We also have one of the best tackles from the 2010s here to mention. David Bakhtiari was drafted with the 109th overall pick in the 4th round of the 2013 NFL Draft by the Green Bay Packers. In just 11 seasons, he started 131 games and made 3 Pro Bowls while earning 2 first-team All-Pro selections and 3 second-team All-Pro selections. His peak years were definitely from 2016 to 2020. He was arguably the best left tackle in football, protecting Aaron Rodgers' blind side during some of the Packers' most successful seasons. Lastly, we have Bo Jackson. He's a little weird because he was the number 1 overall pick in 1986, but he refused to play for Tampa. So the next year, Bo Jackson was drafted 183rd overall in the 7th round of the 1987 draft by the Los Angeles Raiders. In his shortened 4-year career, he rushed for over 2,700 yards and 16 touchdowns with a 5.4 yards per carry average. He made 1 Pro Bowl in 1990 and recorded some of the most legendary runs in NFL history. His highlights were spectacular: a 92-yard touchdown against Cincinnati in 1989 and a 91-yard touchdown on Monday Night Football against Seattle in 1987. His career ended tragically with a hip injury in the 1990 playoffs, but his legend endures. These guys were all elite steals. I just think the crew above them is slightly better. But before we get to the next level, about 98% of you all are not subscribed. So sub if you like the content, it'd go a long way. I'd appreciate it. And let's get to the next level.
Level 4, Hall of Very Good.
These guys, I'm not sure if they get into the Hall of Fame. I think they're on the outside looking in, which is still crazy to say for a late round pick, but they're in the Hall of Very Good. Starting with Russell Wilson. Mr. Unlimited would have been a level higher if he retired like 4 years ago, but he kept playing and has been awful. But peak Russ was special. Wilson was drafted 75th overall in the 3rd round of the 2012 NFL Draft by Seattle. Over his 14-year career, he's thrown for over 46,000 passing yards and 353 touchdowns with a 121, 80-1 record. He's made 10 Pro Bowls, won a Super Bowl, and holds 26 major franchise records for Seattle. His peak from 2012 to 2020 were legendary, 9 straight winning seasons and consistent MVP conversation. For a 3rd round pick to become a Super Bowl champion and 10-time Pro Bowler, all while marrying Sierra, is a crazy turnaround for a 3rd round pick. Someone else who had a crazy turnaround was Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger. From getting kicked off his team in college into a team captain and multi-time All-Pro. He was drafted 69th overall in the 3rd round of the 2013 NFL Draft by the Arizona Cardinals. In just 12 years, he recorded 838 tackles, 36 interceptions, and 100 pass deflections. He made 3 Pro Bowls, earned first team All-Pro honors 3 times, and won a Super Bowl with Kansas City. His versatility was legendary. He could play safety and cornerback. Matthew was instrumental in Kansas City's championship run and became one of the most respected defensive backs of his era. Another generational defensive back was Kam Chancellor. Kam Chancellor was drafted 133rd overall in the 5th round of the 2010 NFL Draft by Seattle. He had an 8-year career where he recorded 607 tackles, 12 interceptions, and 44 pass deflections. He made 4 Pro Bowls, earned 2 second-team All-Pro selections, and won the Super Bowl against the Broncos. His physical presence was stuff of legend. At 6'3" and 225 pounds, he redefined the strong safety position with bone-crushing hits that intimidated entire offenses. His career was cut short by a neck injury at age 29, but his impact was undeniable. He's currently a Hall of Fame nominee and should enter Seattle's Ring of Honor very soon. Sadly, Navarro Bowman was also kind of ruined by injury. Navarro Bowman drafted 91st overall in the 3rd round of the 2010 NFL Draft as well, this time by the San Francisco 49ers. Over a 7-year career, he recorded 798 tackles, 14 sacks, and 5 interceptions. He made 3 Pro Bowls, earned 4 first-team All-Pro honors, and was named the NFL's All-Decade Team for the 2010s. His peak was insane from 2011 to 2013. He was arguably the best linebacker in football, recording 140 tackles in each season. A devastating knee injury in the 2014 NFC Championship game derailed his career, but he did return to earn another All-Pro selection in 2015. He just couldn't keep up that pace as before. He's currently a linebackers coach for the Los Angeles Chargers. And someone who's just odd to me is Julian Edelman. Because his overall stats aren't crazy, but he's one of the best playoff performers ever. So I'm not sure if he gets into the Hall of Fame, but at the very least, he's in the Hall of Very Good. Julian Edelman was drafted 232nd overall in the 7th round of the 2009 NFL Draft by the New England Patriots, a quarterback from Kent State who was converted to wide receiver. He played 11 seasons, recorded 620 receptions for over 6,800 yards and 36 touchdowns. He won 3 Super Bowls, earned Super Bowl MVP honors in one of those, and was recently inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame. His playoff performances were legendary, 118 receptions for 1,400 yards in 19 postseason games, including clutch catches and multiple Super Bowl victories. His 2018 playoff run was spectacular, culminating in 10 catches for 141 yards in the Super Bowl victory over the Rams. Edelman's postseason heroics and championship pedigree make him the Patriots legend that he is, and potentially what gets him into the Hall of Fame. Lastly, we have someone who I think actually could be up a level in Robert Mathis. Robert Mathis was drafted 138th overall in the 5th round of the 2003 NFL Draft by the Indianapolis Colts. In his 14-year career, he recorded 123 sacks, 52 forced fumbles, an NFL record, and 538 tackles. He made 5 Pro Bowls, earned first-team All-Pro honors in 2013, and won a Super Bowl. His 2013 legendary season had 19.5 sacks to lead the NFL, earning him the inaugural Deacon Jones Award. Mathis holds a record for most sacked fumbles at 47 and finished 17th all-time in career sacks. He was inducted into the Colts Ring of Honor in 2021, and despite Hall of Fame-worthy numbers, he hasn't been elected yet. These guys were all in the Hall of Very Good, but the next group I think are Hall of Fame-worthy.
Level 5, Hall of Fame.
These guys are already in the Hall of Fame or will be based on the numbers when eligible, besides one player we'll talk about later. To start, we have Tyreek Hill. Hill was drafted 165th overall in the 5th round of the 2016 NFL Draft by Kansas City. Known as the Cheetah, he's recorded 819 receptions for over 11,000 yards and 83 touchdowns. He's made 8 Pro Bowls, earned 5 first-team All-Pro honors, and won a Super Bowl with Kansas City. His speed revolutionized the game. He holds multiple franchise records for both Miami and with the Chiefs. He led the league in receiving yards in 2023 with 1,799. He's been named to the All-Decades team of the 2010s. Currently with Miami, he's dealing with a knee injury, but his legacy is pretty much secure. Someone else who's battled injuries but is getting into the Hall is George Kittle. George Kittle was drafted 146th overall in the 5th round of the 2017 NFL Draft. He's produced 559 receptions for over 7,500 yards and 48 touchdowns. He's made 6 Pro Bowls, earned 2 first-team All-Pro selections, and set the NFL record for most receiving yards by a tight end in the season in 2018 with 1,377. His versatility is legendary. Elite receiving ability combined with dominant blocking makes him the complete tight end. His 13.5 career yards per reception is exceptional for a tight end, and he's been one of the cornerstones of San Francisco's offense since drafted. Those last two are absolute pillars for the sport, and the same goes for the next guy, but it's turned ugly. One of the saddest stories is Antonio Brown. who could have been much higher had he just gone a little bit longer, but he went completely crazy. Drafted with the 195th overall pick in the 6th round of the 2010 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers, what Brown accomplished was definitely Hall of Fame worthy, if not one of the greatest we've ever seen. In 12 seasons, he recorded 928 receptions for over 12,000 yards and 83 touchdowns. He made 7 Pro Bowls, earned 4 first-team All-Pro selections, and won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay in 2020. Brown had 6 consecutive seasons with 100-plus catches and 5 straight with 1,200-plus yards. His route-running precision and work ethic was unmatched, making him nearly impossible to cover. His off-field issues ended his career prematurely, and I'm not sure he gets in now, but his on-field dominance speaks for itself. Speaking of on-field dominance, we have the tallest wide receiver of all time in Harold Carmichael. Harold Carmichael was drafted 161st overall in the 7th round of the 1971 NFL Draft by the Philadelphia Eagles. Carmichael was 6'8" and still lasted 14 years in the NFL. He recorded 590 receptions for over 8,900 yards and 79 touchdowns. He made 4 Pro Bowls, earned second-team All-Pro honors, and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2020. His consistency was legendary. He set an NFL record with 127 consecutive games with a reception from 1972 to 1980. He was named to the NFL's All-Decade Teams for the 1970s and won the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award in 1980. Another Eagles legend is Jason Kelce. Jason Kelce was drafted 191st overall in the 6th round of the 2011 NFL Draft by Philadelphia. Over 13 seasons, he started 193 games and made 7 Pro Bowls while earning 6 first-team All-Pro selections. He won the Super Bowl in 2017 and gave a legendary speech afterwards. His durability was insane. He started 156 consecutive regular season games despite numerous injuries. Kelce redefined the center position with his mobility, getting 20 to 30 yards downfield to make blocks. His leadership and football IQ made him the quarterback of the Philadelphia's O-line. He's the only center since the 1970 merger to win a Super Bowl and earn 6 first-team All-Pro honors. Lastly, we have one of the most underrated linemen in NFL history in Marshall Yanda. Marshall Yanda was drafted 86th overall in the 3rd round of the 2007 NFL Draft by Baltimore. He started 166 games and made 8 Pro Bowls while earning 2 first-team All-Pro honors and 4 second-team All-Pro honors. He won a Super Bowl and was one of the best guards for a while. He was named the NFL's All-Decade Team for the 2010s and is widely considered one of the best guards of his generation. He's been inducted into the Ravens Ring of Honor and is currently a Hall of Fame nominee. We have some honorable mentions to end this section with guys like Steve Smith Sr., who was drafted 74th overall in the 3rd round of 2001 by Carolina. A 5'9" wide receiver who became 8th all-time in receiving yards with over 14,000 and made 5 Pro Bowls. Next up is Jason Kelce, who was drafted 73rd overall in the 3rd round of 1997 by Miami. A Hall of Fame defensive end with 139.5 career sacks, 6 Pro Bowls, and a 2006 Defensive Player of the Year award. Jason Witten was drafted 69th overall in the 3rd round of 2003 by Dallas. An 11-time Pro Bowler with over 1,200 receptions, over 13,000 yards, and 2 All-Pro selections over 17 seasons. He's definitely getting in the Hall. Along with players who are already there like Andre Reed, Aeneas Williams, and John Stallworth. In level 6, we're getting to players who just missed the cut for the greatest draft steals of all time.
Level 6, just missed.
These guys just missed the cut for the best ever draft steals, but they're still some of the best ever, starting with Richard Sherman. Sherman was drafted 154th overall in the 5th round of the 2011 NFL Draft by the Seattle Seahawks. In 11 seasons, he recorded 37 interceptions for 478 yards and 3 touchdowns. He made 5 Pro Bowls, earned 3 first-team All-Pro selections, and won the Super Bowl against the Broncos. He led the NFL in interceptions in 2013 with 8 picks and was named to the NFL's All-Decade Team for the 2010s. Sherman's trash-talking and elite coverage made him one of the most feared corners in the league. For a 5th-round pick to anchor a championship defense and become the face of it as well is incredible. Terrell Davis's stint may have been short, but it was awesome. Terrell Davis was drafted 196 overall in the 6th round of the 1995 NFL Draft by Denver. In just 7 seasons, he rushed for over 7,600 yards and 60 touchdowns. He made 3 Pro Bowls, earned 3 first-team All-Pro selections, won 1998 NFL MVP, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017. His peak was historic. From 1996 to 1998, he had 3 straight All-Pro seasons with over 1,500 rushing yards each year, including 2,008-yard season in 1998. Davis won back-to-back Super Bowls and earned Super Bowl MVP honors. His playoff dominance included 581 rushing yards in the 1997 postseason, 2nd all-time. Injuries cut his career short, but his 3-year peak was unmatched. Next up is Richard Dent. Richard Dent was drafted 203rd overall in the 8th round of the 1983 NFL Draft by the Chicago Bears. The Colonel went on to play 15 seasons. He recorded 137.5 sacks, 8 interceptions, and 37 forced fumbles. He made 4 Pro Bowls, earned 1 first-team All-Pro selection in 1985, won 2 Super Bowls, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2011. In 1985, he had 17 sacks and 1 Super Bowl MVP, after recording 1.5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in that championship game. At retirement, his 137.5 sacks ranked 3rd all-time behind Reggie White and Bruce Smith. His combination of speed and technique made him unstoppable. Someone else unstoppable, but also underrated, was Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas was drafted 154th overall in the 5th round of the 1996 NFL Draft by Miami. A 5'11", 228-pound linebacker from Texas Tech, who became one of the most dominant middle linebackers ever. In his 13-year career, he recorded over 1,700 tackles, 20.5 sacks, and 17 interceptions. He made 7 Pro Bowls, earned 5 first-team All-Pro selections, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2023. Thomas led the team in tackles as a rookie with 154 and never looked back. He was just great. Because he's so old, nobody ever talks about him, but Johnny Unitas should be here as well. Johnny Unitas was drafted 102nd overall in the 9th round of the 1955 NFL Draft by Pittsburgh. A quarterback from Louisville who was cut before throwing a single pass and played semi-pro football for $6 a game. Unitas, over 18 years, threw for over 40,000 passing yards and 290 touchdowns with a 118, 63-4 record. He made 10 Pro Bowls, earned 5 All-Pro selections, won 3 NFL championships, 3 MVP awards, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1979. His 1958 NFL championship game performance was actually historic, leading the Colts to 23-17 overtime victory over the Giants in the greatest game ever played. Unitas held the record for 47 consecutive games with the touchdown pass for over 50 years. At retirement, he was first all-time in completions, yards, and in touchdowns. Another old head here is Roger Staubach. Now, when I talk to my great uncle about the NFL, it's Staubach this and Staubach that, so I wasn't sure if he was being nostalgic or not. But he wasn't. Roger Staubach was drafted 129th overall in the 10th round of the 1964 NFL Draft by Dallas. He was a Heisman Trophy winner from the Navy who couldn't join the team for 5 years due to military service in Vietnam, which is why he fell. In his 11-year career, he threw for over 22,000 yards and 153 touchdowns with an 85-29 record. He made 6 Pro Bowls, earned multiple All-Pro selections, won 2 Super Bowls, earning Super Bowl MVP honors in one of those. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1985. His clutch performances earned him the nickname Captain Comeback with 21 career game-winning drives. His 85-29 record gives him the second highest winning percentage among all quarterbacks with 100-plus starts, behind only Tom Brady. And speaking of Tom Brady, no, I'm kidding. We'll get to him soon, but not right now. We still have some honorable mentions to get through here as well. Ken Houston was drafted 214th overall in the 9th round of the 1967 NFL Draft by Houston. A Hall of Fame safety with 49 interceptions, 12 Pro Bowls, and 9 interceptions, returned for touchdowns. Travis Kelce was drafted 63rd overall in the 3rd round of the 2013 NFL Draft by the Kansas City Chiefs. A 10-time Pro Bowler with over 1,000 receptions and 12,000 yards and 3 Super Bowl championships. Mike Webster was drafted 125th overall in the 5th round of 1974 by Pittsburgh, a Hall of Fame center with 9 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pro selections, and 4 Super Bowl championships. Kevin Green was drafted 113th overall in the 5th round of 1985 by the Los Angeles Rams. He is a Hall of Fame linebacker with 160 sacks, 5 Pro Bowls, and 2 All-Pro selections. You also have guys like Joe Klecko here, Larry Wilson, and Rosie Brown to round out the crew. These guys were some of the best ever, just not the best ever, which is what we have in our last group.
Level 7, the best.
There's 6 draft steals above the rest. Shannon Sharpe, Deacon Jones, Steve Largent, Bart Starr, Joe Montana, and of course, Tom Brady. Starting with Shannon Sharpe. Sharpe was drafted 192nd overall in the 7th round of the 1990 NFL Draft by Denver, a tight end from Savannah State who revolutionized the position. In 14 years, he recorded 815 receptions for over 10,000 yards and 62 touchdowns. He made 8 Pro Bowls, earned 4 All-Pro honors, won 3 Super Bowls, and was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2011. He held every major tight end receiving record at retirement and was named to the All-1990s team. Sharpe's 815 receptions were most by any tight end in NFL history at the time, and his 10,060 yards revolutionized how the position was used. His brother Sterling called him really, really good, the ultimate compliment. Someone else really good was Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones was drafted 186 overall in the 14th round of the 1961 NFL Draft by the Los Angeles Rams. Over his 14-year career, he recorded 173.5 sacks unofficially, 2 interceptions, and 15 fumble recoveries. He made 8 Pro Bowls, earned 5 All-Pro honors, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1980. He coined the term sack and perfected the head slap technique that was later banned. Jones led the fearsome foursome defensive line and was named to the All-1960s team. At 6'5" and 272 pounds, he was unstoppable with 22 sacks in 1968 and 21.5 sacks in 1967. George Allen called him worthy of being Secretary of Defense for the entire country. Someone else who stands for greatness in this country is Bart Starr. Bart Starr was drafted 200th overall in the 17th round of the 1956 NFL Draft by Green Bay. He threw for over 24,000 yards and 152 touchdowns with a 94, 57, and 6 record. He made 4 Pro Bowls, earned 1 All-Pro selection, won 5 NFL championships, 2 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, a 1966 MVP, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1967. His clutch performances were legendary. He led Green Bay to 3 consecutive titles from 1965 through 1967, including the first 2 Super Bowls. His leadership under Vince Lombardi created the Packers dynasty and holds the NFL record for lowest interception percentage in a season at 1.2%. Steve Largent was drafted 117th overall in the 4th round of the 1976 NFL Draft by Houston, a wide receiver from Tulsa who was immediately traded to Seattle after being cut by the Oilers. He recorded 819 receptions for over 13,000 yards and 100 touchdowns. He made 7 Pro Bowls, earned 1 first-team All-Pro selection in 1985, won 1988 Walter Payton Man of the Year, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1995. He set NFL records with 177 consecutive games with a reception and held virtually every major receiving record at retirement. At 5'11" and 187 pounds, he was considered too small and too slow. But people were wrong. Joe Montana was drafted 82nd overall in the 3rd round of the 1979 NFL Draft by San Francisco. Joe Cool, during his 15-year career, threw for over 40,000 passing yards and 273 touchdowns with a 117 and 47 record. He made 8 Pro Bowls, earned 3 All-Pro selections, won 4 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 NFL MVPs, and was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2000. He's arguably the greatest clutch player ever. He went 4-0 in Super Bowls with a 127.8 passer rating and 11 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Montana's 16-7 playoff record included the catch and the drive, iconic moments that defined his career. Eddie DeBartolo called him simply the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. That was up until Tom Brady took over. And lastly, we have the GOAT. Tom Brady was drafted 199th overall in the 6th round of the 2000 NFL Draft by New England. What Brady accomplished is legendary. Over his 23-year career, he threw for over 89,000 yards and 249 touchdowns with a 251 and 82 record. He made 15 Pro Bowls, earned 3 All-Pro selections, won 7 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowl MVPs, 3 NFL MVPs, and was inducted into the Patriots Hall of Fame in 2024. He holds virtually every major quarterback record, including most wins, most Super Bowl appearances, most playoff wins. Brady's 28-3 comeback against Atlanta and 6 championships with New England established himself as the GOAT. And then winning with Tampa just put it even further out of reach. He became the ultimate draft steal and the greatest player of all time. And so there you have it, the 7 levels of NFL draft steals. Subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.